Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about gold prices. Soon, saying $1,700 will be gold spot price from Paul Tudor Jones, fund manager and the creator of Tudor Investment Corp, a billionaire investor in precious metals and global economies. So he's saying that gold is going to be skyrocketing soon. We see gold prices at near all-time highs, and Shanghai hit all-time highs. Gold right now, $1,341. Silver around $14.84. I'm curious what silver is going to do with this, because once you look at the gold to silver ratio, you can kind of get a good estimation of, the fluctuating prices between gold. Either when gold goes higher, silver, either is going to follow suit to the gold to silver ratio around 90-1, or the gold to silver ratio could fluctuate back down to around 75-1, making silver go up as gold lowers. So who knows what's going to happen with silver, but today we're talking about gold. I'm going to read, this is an interview from a billionaire in the precious metals, what he's talking about, and I'm going to share both articles. Both of these links will be in the description of the video if you want to check them out. But it's talking about the gold price going to $1,700 soon, says billionaire Paul Tudor Jones from Bloomberg. This is Kitco News. Another billionaire investor is sounding the alarm for the U.S. and global economies and looking at gold as a safe haven play. In an interview with Bloomberg News, Paul Tudor Jones, fund manager and creator of Tudor Investments, said his favorite trade in the next 12 to 24 months is gold. So around half, this 12 to 24 months, gold could be skyrocketing. He added that if the price can break through 1,400, it will push to 1,700 an ounce rather quickly. So as it gathers more momentum, hype's going to build around it. A lot of people will probably be trading their silver for gold, and a lot of people will be buying it. Even though usually when gold breaks out, when it's higher, you should be selling it, not buying it. It's supposed to be buy low, sell high. A lot of people buy high and then they sell when it's low. But he says gold has everything going for it. During the interview, Jones said the global economy, which has been built on global trade, is on the verge of breaking down as global trade tensions continue to escalate. He said that President Donald Trump's recent threat to further tariffs on $300 billion incorporated Chinese goods could be the material event that can push the U.S. economy into a recession. I've mentioned this before. When the economy is in a scary or very fearful, panicky state, that's when people usually rise or transfer their wealth into precious metals. It's a safe investment with intrinsic value. They fear the government, they fear the stocks, they fear digital assets, digital currency, and they usually try to find something with intrinsic value where it's the physical asset. And this is what he's mentioning. He said we've had 75 years of expanding globalization and trade, and now all of a sudden it's stopped. This would make one think it's possible that we go into a recession, and it would make one think that the rates in the U.S. go back down to zero-bound level. Gold in the situation is going to scream and will be the antidote for people with equity portfolios. Comments come as gold prices hold on to recent gains and seeing its best weekly performance in a year. August gold futures trade last year was $1,337 an ounce, up 0.45% on the day. Gold prices have pushed higher as markets have aggressively priced in the interest rates cut from the Federal Reserve. So here's a chart you guys can see. Huge dip back in 2018 September time. But then you see it just slowly climbing, dropping back down around the 1280 round, and now we see a huge surge, the biggest surge we've seen in a while, and now it's up to around almost $1,400. And he's saying if it does break this $1,400 level, if there is some stability here, if it can hold off right there, then it could go up, and who knows how high it would be. Markets see more than an 80% chance of a rate cut by July. Markets are going at least three rate cuts by the end of the year. So Jones also comments to follow recent bullish sentiment from other billionaires last month. Thomas Kaplan, chairman and chief investment officer of Electron Group, said that the television he could see gold prices rally as high as $3,000 to $5,000 within a decade, which are huge things to say, huge assumptions, but it isn't out of the realm of impossibility. That's definitely something that could happen. You could easily see the gold prices $100 lower before it catches a wave and rallies a few $1,000s, which definitely would make sense. That's also another buying opportunity as well if people still want to get in. Earlier in May, Devin Einhorn, founder of the Greenlight Capital, also reiterated his positive sentiment for gold in a conversation with Kitco News. I had gold and I'm never going to get rid of it. I hope that I never have to use it, he said, which is a little interesting comment. But he also expressed a long-term affinity for the yellow metal during the conference. I love gold, and I've owned since I was trading at $300. So interesting thing. I'm gonna go on to onto this next article. Just kind of going a little further into this thing. Some more interviews and stuff. I'm curious what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that gold is has the potential that people are saying it does? Do you think if it does break this $1,400 level, do you think there's going to be do you think that these prices are going to be skyrocketing thousands of dollars within the next 12 to 24 months, or do you think it's going to still kind of, because gold's usually, and silver is usually more of a bear market. If it does go up, it's a few $100s over the couple months, few $100s. Do you think it'll be more of a gradual incline, or do you think it would be something almost like Bitcoin where it's skyrocketing, and the hype is happening? I personally think it does also depend on what's happening in the economy. That plays a huge part in these prices and how they fluctuate within each other. But I'm also curious to pass the question on to you guys. What do you think silver is going to be doing? Do you think silver is going to be, partnering up with gold? Almost rising with it to these levels, so we could see silver up to $50 again like we did in 2011? Or do you think silver is going to be stagnant as gold rises, making the gold to silver ratio even higher, which would be at beyond all-time highs, even above 90 to 1 where it really is right now? It'd probably be breaking records that it's never seen before. They will probably never even see again. If this does happen with gold going to 1700, silver would have to at least, go to around the 30, 40, $50 range for the gold to silver ratio to still even be somewhat in a balance. If not, things would be extremely out of whack. Silver would be even, have more potential, because then it's really showing how out of whack the gold to silver ratio is, especially looking at these metals coming out the ground roughly 9 to 1. So anyways, this is another article I found. A legendary hedge fund manager just predicted gold may soar to $1,700 rather quickly. Best trade for the next 12 to 24 months. June 12th, the market tried higher initially but didn't take long for selling to the upper hand, and the indicates were lower through the midday, led by a 0.5% loss in NASDAQ. In the afternoon, the market traded sideways with an hour to go. When I had to leave, it was still somewhere at midday. Away from stocks, the green paper was a bit stronger, as was fixed income, while the metals perked up, gaining about 0.5%, with the miners quite strong. Jonesing for gold. I'm not sure what the proximate cause was for this move in gold, but it could have something to do with the very bullish comments this morning by Paul Tudor Jones. When someone of his caliber of intellect and trading skills says one of the best trades over the next 24 months is gold, and that it has everything going for it because of its antidote to financial assets institutionally, that can get people to sit up and take notice. And that is very interesting to say. That also kind of answers my question when I mentioned, do you think that precious metals have the same speculative outlook or the same speculative pull that cryptocurrency does? Because I do think that precious metals are a stronger market, since there is real value used in the everyday world for the technological, and industrial purposes and even medical purposes, where I didn't think that if someone could just come out in the public eye and mention, buy gold, it's going to skyrocket, that it could really influence the prices. Cryptocurrency, obviously, because it's very speculative. It's a very loosely, a very shallow type of market. But precious metals are stronger. But this was interesting that if these prices are moving from this, from this comment, or from this, from this public voice, that that the precious metals are moving this, it would be interesting to take note on that, and there's a good possibility that it is. I've noticed it. It's everywhere over Kitco, over all the news. So people, if they especially seeing these high of numbers, or someone saying, that it could reach these high of market fluctuations or appreciations, people can make some serious gains. And I definitely think that this did influence some of the price for people to start buying gold more, especially maybe even transferring over from silver to gold. So when asked how high gold could go, Paul said it can go through 1,400. It will probably move to $1,700 very quickly. That it would likely get up a lot of excitement if that were to happen. Setting the table. Stan Druckenmiller also made bullish comments about gold, thinking forth both centered around the fact that the Fed has obviously done tightening at some point will be the new easing cycle. The only question is how much and how soon. There is speculation that there will be a cut of the FOMC meeting next week. I seriously doubt that, but I think it wouldn't take much stock market weakness to get them to do something. I'm not going to really go through too much, but I have kept my positions fairly full through the indigestion that we had since February until just recently. It trimmed some exposure, but most of the part trimmed back on. I am positioned pretty aggressively. I do plan to add a bit more, but my strategy has been to find something reasonable, a reasonable trades to beef up a bit of a decision break over the $1,350 range, or breaking or during a pullback that I understand where we think it will reverse. I really thought the latter would be more likely than the former, but the correction has only been going for a few days, so I don't want to leap in any conclusions, which is a really good point to make as well. We'll have to play it by ear. We'll have to keep an eye on the charts and see what happens with this thing. It is interesting. I think it's exciting. It's I love precious metals. I obviously I see more potential in silver. Silver is definitely my focus, but I also am a realist, and I need to look at these markets critically and taking the emotional attachment out. And if there's something is a better investment than another thing that can make more gains, then obviously I need to adjust to that. So maybe this means that maybe I should be buying a little bit more gold. The only thing is, my thing would be I would buy more silver right now than gold, only because gold is at all-time highs. So why would I buy? Why would I invest into something when when I have to pay the most money for it? I would rather wait for there to be some type of correction so I can get it for cheaper, not paying the premiums on top of these prices at spot price. That's definitely something to take into consideration, which a lot of people don't. And I recommend that as well. So what do you guys think about this? I think it's really interesting. Both articles will be in the description of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.